Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast. My name is Amir. Before I get started today, I just want to thank everybody for following the podcast on Spotify. Also, thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. So, for today's episode, I want to talk about some breaking news. The Miami Heat just re-signed their free agent Haywood Highsmith to a 2-year deal worth $11 million. So he's going to be returning to the Miami Heat. His agent Jerry Deanis tells ESPN Highsmith had significant interest around the league, but stays with the franchise that developed him into an NBA player. So I think this is good news that we re-signed Haywood. I mean, 2 years, 11 million, so he's making like 5.5 million per season, and I thought he was going to make a lot more, apparently. Like, according to Michael Scotto of hoopshype.com, he was saying that his ability as a 3 and D wing player, he was going to be looking to make $8 to $10 million per season. And for him to take 5.5 million to stay with this Miami Heat team is a discount, but also we had to take into the factor that he is going to be in South Florida. And in Florida, there's no income tax. So if he joined another team outside of Texas and Florida and whatever their state doesn't have income tax, if you took like 6-7 million per season, that would have been the same as 5.5 million essentially. So it makes sense to a certain degree, but I thought Haywood would be making, perhaps that 10 million, like a 2 to 3 year deal where he's making anywhere from 20 to 30 million dollars. But either way, good news that we got to re-sign Haywood right now, especially when Caleb Martin left. And so the Miami Heat had 13 spots on this team and 2 spots available. And with Caleb gone and with Haywood potentially leaving, I thought the Miami Heat were going to need to sign a small forward and would have to spend the minimum essentially because the Miami Heat are a first apron team. And they also have other holes in their roster as well. So I'm happy that we're able to retain him. I think it's a steal, honestly, for 5.5 million. He shot 40% from three last season. And, he's a good improving offensive player. He was able to put the ball on the floor a little bit. And he had some sort of like floater push shot that kind of reminded me of like that PJ Tucker floater that he had when he was on the Miami Heat team. So he essentially is like our younger version of PJ Tucker, an undersized wing power forward type of player who hits the corner three, who has now a nice little push shot, and someone who's going to just help with our point of attack, which I think is the biggest thing, is our point of attack defense, helping on the perimeter and also guarding up because he does have like a 6'9" wingspan. So I'm happy with this signing. Looks like the Miami Heat have one roster spot left. We still have the mid-level exception, I believe, unless we use that for this. It was 5.2 million, so I'm not sure how that works, but it looks like we have one roster spot left. We might be going into the regular season with this roster, and we might save that spot like we did the last 2 seasons for a buyout candidate. So we'll see. It looks like, again, we're running it back. We got Haywood Highsmith. I think that's good news for today. Heat fans are not going to be excited about this, but I think it's good because we definitely needed to retain at least one of Caleb Martin and Haywood Highsmith. So happy we get to keep Haywood in the system. So let me know what your thoughts about re-signing Haywood to this 2-year deal.